Hello and welcome to the beautiful Scottish Highlands, and in particular the Rocky Mercus estate just a mile outside Aviemore. It's here this weekend where 400 competitors have travelled from all over the world to compete in the first ever Carlsberg UK Mountain Bike Championship. Competitors like Mike Closer, the 1988 World Champion, and Steve Dowse, the British Cyclo-Cross Champion. The course here around the estate of some 25,000 acres measures 30 kilometres, and they'll cover that course twice. It's a very, very difficult course. And to cover the mountain bike riding, it's also meant a complete change in the coverage for our television cameras too. We have a helicopter, and the cameramen, brave souls, are mounted on the back of these all-terrain vehicles to try and keep up with the riders when they're off in the far, far distant highlands. Now, a mountain bike has taken over the world of cycling these last few years. It began in the United States, it spread across Europe, and it moved into the UK about 2 or 3 years ago. It is said that this year, the British manufacturers will produce some 40% of the sales in mountain bikes alone. So first of all, what is a mountain bike? Well, the gears down here are 3 small chain wheels which give you fast pedalling speeds over rough ground. They're connected to a block of 7 sprockets, so in all you get 21 different pedalling ratios. The wheels themselves, under the regulations of mountain bike racing, cannot be bigger than 26 inches in diameter. That compares with 27 on a racing bike on the road. And the tyres themselves, cross-section is wide and very knobbly for gripping on the muddy tracks. The bicycle, well, the controls for the gears are on the handlebars. That's for easy reach when you're bouncing over the heather or the rocks, and normally they would of course be on the down tube. And the bicycle itself, well, in weight, it weighs around 27 to 33 pounds, something like 8 to 10 pounds heavier than a normal road racing bike. And despite that weight, they still have to put it on their back and carry it over the high spots of the course. It is a very demanding sport. It is extremely difficult. That is now the bike. Let's have a look at the course itself. And we're looking here at the high spot of the course of 1,400 feet, the climb over Ord Barn. And really, this 30-kilometre course is said to be the toughest ever devised in the United Kingdom. Starting on the left here, not too far outside the town of Aviemore, it heads down around the Lily Loch, over the climb of Ord Barn, and then around the beautiful Loch an Ellen. Once they leave Loch an Ellen, they're out in the countryside again, around the beautiful Caledonian pine forests. Then they climb away, heading for the next high point at 396 metres, just around 1,000 feet, before they cross 1 or 2 rivers and finally make their return on the outskirts of Aviemore down to the finish line. That's 30 kilometres, it's 2 laps for the men and 1 lap for the women. And yesterday, all of the competitors had to ride 1 lap of the course. The order over the finishing line decided their start order today. So they are seeded, and it will be a Le Mans type start where they grab the bikes and go for it. This is Mike Closer, the former world champion, won his heat. He's seeded 1. Steve Dowse, the British Cyclo-Cross champion, is 2. And Fred Salmon from Chapel Enlil Frith in Derbyshire, he's 3. Chris Young, a newcomer to mountain bike riding, has done well so far, as has youngster Jake Elliott from the rally team. Tim Davis from South Wales, and amongst the women, Sian Roberts. Sally Hibbard expected to challenge, and the 3rd top girl is Debbie Morell. Sian, you're the up-and-rising star of mountain biking. Are you going to beat Debbie today?
Well, I'm going to try.
What do you think?
It's a hard course. It's a long course compared to what we're used to.
Are you afraid of the course?
Not afraid of it. Wary of it. It's going to be hard. Especially, it's been raining last night as well, so it's going to be very wet and muddy. So.
Can you swim?
Well, sort of. Just about.
Tim, the course is tough enough for you, isn't it?
Indeed it is. It's a lot of running in it. Suits me down to the ground. It'll be great. Looking forward to it.
Nothing to be afraid of?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
What about the high spots on the mountains?
Higher the better. The higher the better.
Jimmy, how do you find the course? You afraid of it?
No, I like it. You know, it's a really good course. One of the best courses I've ridden. Rivers are a bit off-putting, but same for everyone.
Any chance of winning?
Not really on the cards for a win. Looking for a good position, really.
Mike, top seed at the start, top seed at the finish?
I hope so. It's going to be a tough one today, though. A few hours worth of racing and some tough course out there.
Do you like heights?
Yeah, it's nice up here.
How about, are you a good swimmer?
Well, hopefully I won't be doing any swimming. It's unless I fall in something a little deeper than I was in yesterday.
And a prediction, Mike, are you going to win?
Well, I'd like to win, and I hope to. I'm feeling real good, and if things go my way, I should be there.
Well, he's a confident man, isn't he? And to the sound, then, of the Dufftown and District Pike Band, the rocket goes off on the field grabbing the bikes. Very, very good start indeed for the riders. It's very difficult to organise 400 bikes in a straight line, and the advantage obviously to the men who rode well yesterday in the heat, because now they have a clear shot at the course. The riders themselves, many have praised the course, many have criticised the course, because during that day yesterday the rain was coming down and the rivers are no longer streams in many cases. They're running about 2 or 3 feet deep. Well, this is the early part of the circuit, the zigzags here within the start field before they go out onto the course proper. This designed to break up the field just a little bit, because out on the estate at Rothiemurchus the tracks are very narrow. Paul Sherwin, as ever, alongside me. 7 times a rider in the Tour de France, Paul. I bet you've seen nothing like this, have you?
Well, nothing at all, but this really is going to be a hard man's race today. It's harder than the average mountain bike race, and it's so important to get a good start in this kind of event. A lot of the riders who got seeded yesterday a little bit upset that the circuit was the full 30 kilometres as a prologue, because they could have sorted those seedings out after 10 or 15 kilometres.
Well, this is Raymond Desonnet, the defending World Cup holder this year, and behind him is Mike Closer, Steve Dowse in 3rd place. So the top boys have made a good start. Desonnet, who comes from Spa in Belgium, but his mother is from Zaire, and I must say probably his most disappointing aspect of mountain biking this year for him in the World Cup event in Spa. He was disqualified for taking another bike on the course, and that is something you're not allowed to do in mountain biking. And we're looking down the field now. This is Sian Roberts in the yellow. She's the best of the women. A 24-year-old from near Betsy Coed. I'm afraid I can't say the village she lives in Wales. She's a Welsh speaker. And we're back with Desonnet now in the lead. And not too far behind Sian Roberts there were her 2 rivals, Sally Hibbard and Debbie Morel. So we're in for a good race there amongst the women. On the lower slopes now as we're heading out towards the Old Barn. A very difficult approach to this climb, because we're in constant woodland. It's hard ground underneath, and Paul, there are a lot of pitfalls like rocks as well as trees.
Well, the rocks can be very slippery, and we've got here our own mountain man, Perry Bellisario, who's actually giving us a rider's eye view. Although it looks quite tame, some of those rocks underfoot there are very, very slippery.
Well, a lot of the trails here, of course, normally only used around the estate for walkers and hikers. And now the mountain bikers have moved in for the day. Now, this is the leader, Raymond Desonnet, getting his feet wet for the first time. Now Mike Closer's coming in just behind him. Of course, they're still facing around 54 kilometres to go, so nobody's in too much of a hurry across the estate. One of the nice parts of the organisation here, they've worked very closely with John Grant, the laird of the estate, to make sure that no damage is caused by the mountain bikes, and neither should it be, because part of this estate since 1954, in fact, has been conserved for nature. And 1 or 2 of the riders behind coming through, all in with a chance. Chris Young here in the pink. He turns professional tomorrow. And I think that's Kevin Sabiston just going through.
Yes, well, as Desonnet is building up a small lead at the front there, the riders in the back are organising themselves into little groups. 1, because they can't overtake, and 2, because they can work together over the moorlands before they start to climb.
Here's Sian Roberts leading in the women's section and being pursued by the lady in pink, who is Sally Hibbard. So the top 2 girls are in action. We didn't see Debbie Morel at that time.
Well, actually, there's Debbie Morel there, filled with the white shirt and the sunglasses on, just walking across.
So she is still in 3rd place.